Hey guys, it's Dead by Default here, and today I'm going to start a new series called Back to Lobby, where I take a look back at games I played as a kid, my opinions on them and their features, and how they hold up today and how I feel about them now after so long. So let's get right into it. So for the first game in this series, we're going to look back at the first ever Call of Duty I ever properly played online. Black Ops was the first ever COD I properly dedicated myself to, and what I consider one of the major games in my childhood. So, we will look at each part of the game, mostly the multiplayer, break it down, and then see how it holds up in the end. But first, some information on the game. Black Ops was the 6th main Call of Duty title, coming in 2010. It was created by Treyarch and Raven Software. It launched with 14 maps, including the legendary Nuketown and Firing Range later called Studio, with 12 more multiplayer maps and 4 more zombie maps coming along with DLC, and yes, zombies made a return from World at War, but we'll get more into that later. So to start the story, we won't touch too much on it, but it was set in the Cold War and was centered around a CIA agent who has been captured and turned into a sleeper agent by some crazy Russians while in prison, and he wants to relive parts of his past while being interrogated in order to find out what the numbers he keeps seeing mean. Overall, the story was good, but stuck to the vein of other COD games with slightly more focus on backstory and a more horror element at times, but overall it's still a great play today, and I would fully recommend it to anyone who enjoys Call of Duty games, and it still holds up today, and I would definitely recommend it to anyone who enjoys Call of Duty campaigns as a whole, as it's not too taxing but still keeps you interested. Zombies made a comeback here from World at War and added new guns and mechanics. It was also the first COD to include a large amount of hidden endings and set a tone for how the rest of Zombies would play out. Helping build up YouTubers such as the Syndicate Project, Black Ops Zombies is still very fun today and very easy to get into. I thoroughly recommend it to anyone who loves the Zombies game type and really wants to try what it was like back in the day. So multiplayer. Now we get to the main part of this video, and the multiplayer for this game is notorious for splitting the community, and you will see why. It jumped massively from the fast-paced kill-streak orientated action of Modern Warfare 2 and went for more focused player-on-player action with less orientation on kill-streaks. So maps. As I said, Black Ops started with 14 maps, added 12 in DLC, making for a total of 26 maps. And playing them, the best I can describe them is a blend of I love you and I hate you. Maps like Nuketown, Firing Range, Hangar 18 and Kowloon, and either ones such as Havana are some of my favourites, but maps never stuck to one design. There was not always that 3-lane design until the DLC came out, and only a few in the main game such as Havana. It felt like the designers were trying to choose between the more open-ended and less straight-line paths of Modern Warfare 2 and the more structured design maps of Black Ops 2 and Modern Warfare 3. Overall, none of the maps are bad, apart the few I mentioned, which are great, and there's nothing to rant about here. Overall, the maps are good, some can be a bit annoying and frustrating at times, but as I said, they either had a solid 3-lane design or they didn't have a real design at all, and it felt often like it was sort of a blend between the two. When the DLC came along, the maps were a lot more structured, and I can definitely sit back down, look at some Black Ops maps, look at Black Ops 2 maps, and see some going into the other and vice versa, simply because the design got that consistent towards the end of the game's lifespan. So guns. In Call of Duty, there's one thing that always has to feel right, and that's the guns. And I will say here, each gun feels different, and using them would either be a treat or a curse, depending on how you like to play. Every player would run at least one of these 5 guns. The AK-74U SMG that could kill faster than any AR, but its range was nerfed and the accuracy is horrible, so it's definitely a great up close gun, but unless you want to sacrifice that fire rate for our grip, you're gonna have to stick at close ranges and close engagements. But overall, it's still a really fun gun to use on smaller maps, and definitely made a lot of people rage quit back in the day. The FAMAS. Now this thing can shoot through anything and still a beast today. Despite a lower fire rate, it is still an amazing gun and is incredibly powerful. The Galil. While not on the same level as the FAMAS, this gun is still powerful, and going back to it reminds me of the fun I had in hardcore mode or TDM, just killing new players each school night. An amazing gun, overall it's just a great assault rifle, and I definitely recommend it over the FAMAS if you don't like it, because personally I prefer the Galil. The L96A1 Sniper. This thing is one of the best feeling sniper rifles in any COD. I'm just going to say that. It's the shame the sniping in this game was the worst of any Call of Duty I have ever played since, but overall it was an amazing sniper rifle and incredibly satisfying to use. The AK-47 is a classic COD gun still to this day, and it was used a lot in this game. Unlocked right at the top tier, and unfortunately we didn't have permanent unlocks in prestige mode in this game, but still it was an amazing gun to use when you got it, and overall was just a beast compared to the FAMAS and the Galil, so definitely one of the great guns. Overall, Black Ops had some of the best gun design, despite the horrible hit detection and lag that we will touch on later. And overall, I loved the gunplay feeling in this game and how each weapon felt unique, whereas now guns tend to feel a lot more mashed together and you don't get much variety. So yeah, the guns in Call of Duty Black Ops were absolutely next level and just an amazing feeling. Quickscoping, oh my god. Every day I hear about people talk about how quickscoping sucks in the newer CODs, or how sniping is hard. Kids, shut up and sit down and get ready for a history lesson. You think Black Ops 3, Advanced Warfare, Infinite Warfare, World War II sniping was annoying? Black Ops 1 has the worst of any COD game before or since. I mean, the worst. The way your scope has as you go in is like you've been hit by a car. You can't just scope in and perfectly hit your target each time. They nerfed the quickscoping even before the game dropped. It's like Treyarch just looked at every phase cam and said, we want less of that, and that's what they did. Get ready for hit markers, misses, even when you're at point blank range. Aiming for the head, you're going to miss 80% of the time, even when you're dead on target. Overall, quickscoping in Black Ops is doable, but it is very hard, but it is very rewarding. And it does feel good when you finally hit your target, or get yourself a trick shot. But overall, quickscoping in Black Ops is so nerfed and so messed up beyond belief, it is aggravating. And trust me, if you want a quickscope in Call of Duty, go to Modern Warfare 2. Just skip Black Ops entirely, because you are not getting anything from this game. Like other COD games, Black Ops came with the usual lethals, flashes and tactical equipment, but it did add some interesting things into the mix. A camera spike with thermal vision to watch your back was cool, the motion sensor and scrambler came into this game for the first time, as well as Nova Gas that could hurt and disorientate your enemy's vision. While all of these were cool, apart from Nova Gas, none of them were really used due to them promoting camping, and that wasn't really very realistic in this game due to all the grenade launches and stuff. When it came to perks, Black Ops had the same as any other Call of Duty game. While not as OP as Modern Warfare 2's perks, they still helped define your playstyle and did offer up some variety in each game. So yeah, the perks, the equipment and stuff, Black Ops had a good selection, added some unique things into the mix, but never really changed up the formula too much. This game took a very different approach to kill streaks. Instead of kill streak kills counting towards your next kill streak, they just gave you XP and that's it. The streaks are okay, but overall, the inability to get to better streaks with them just hampers the use of the more high-end ones. So it was pointless to go for anything higher than dogs, since with them you could pretty much dominate the entire map. Maybe a chopper gunner, but overall that was too easily shot down with a SAM turret that made its first appearance in this game. Honestly, Black Ops kill streaks are not particularly bad, but they're not particularly useful either. You can certainly dominate the map with a few of them, but they're easily shot down with things like I said, the SAM turret, which is like a 4 or 5 kill streak. So once you get that, UAVs, counter UAVs, choppers, everything can pretty much be taken out quickly as it's put up. And while this is annoying if you do go for those high streaks, ultimately it means the action is just focused more on player skill and what the player can get themselves rather than relying on AI. Overall, no streaks are particularly bad, but nothing is really imaginative either. The SAM turret was something new, but I definitely say that kill streaks took a backseat in this game and focused more on players' skill and what the player can do by themselves. Unlike Modern Warfare 2 and Black Ops 2, where kill streaks were a core pillar of your gameplay style, and what you ran really defined how you would play the game. So, the connection or the server state of the game. Okay, I don't know who wrote the netcode for this game, but it was not someone who knew how to code for their life. When I first got back into this game a few days ago, I was thinking all the lag I got back as a kid was due to being on bad Wi-Fi and using an old Xbox 360 wireless adapter, you know, the little white ones. But nope, this game will lag almost every game. It will crash your Xbox Live connection if the host is bad enough, you'll get lag even if you're host if the game decides to put you with bad players, and the response time and ping of the game is just downright awful. And I know it's not my connection, I'm using a LAN connection downstairs. When I do speed tests, I'm getting 12 to 30 ping maximum. And even when I go back to older games such as Modern Warfare 2, my connection is fine. And especially when I come to my PC and play Counter-Strike, I'm never getting more than 45. So it is definitely something up with this game, and overall it just makes the game incredibly unplayable. Combine them with other issues the game has, and the game begins to get really tedious and annoying if you're not used to it, and at some points you just want to give up and go play something with a better connection just because of how bad the hit detection is, and you're just sick of dying to kids who are on one bar yet can somehow spawn in front of you and wipe you out even when you've been spraying at them for 5 minutes. So how does the game feel? If I had to define Black Ops gameplay in a word, it would be slow. This game is slow feeling. Not to say the gameplay itself can be particularly slow, but just when you're moving around with a character, it feels kinda clunky. When you do anything, you have to wait a moment for your character to reset himself so you can scope in again or even use his knife. And even then, the knife in this game is absolutely awful. The range is either across the map or nothing. You can literally knife someone at point blank range and they can 360 you and knife you instantly. It's unbelievable. I don't know how a knife can be this bad. In other Call of Duties they needed to have some momentum to get the knife kill, but even then you could get them even at a relatively low speed. Here it's just ridiculous. With a bad connection included as well as the awful hit detection, knifing just feels clunky and it's not worth doing when you can just spray and pray. And as I mentioned in my connection part, even this isn't guaranteed. You can die behind cover even when you think you're safe simply because of how bad the connection is. And throw that in with the awful connection, you can appear to not be moving on someone's screen when in fact you know you were standing there spraying at them. Overall, the feeling of this game just feels clunky at times, and is a rapid departure of the more smooth feeling and action orientated and speed focused Modern Warfare 2, which overall did feel a lot more polished, whereas Black Ops feels like it's trying to move into something new, while also trying to retain some of its older style. So overall, Black Ops has done a lot for Call of Duty. From the first emblem editor, to giving us new types of personalisation, to COD points. Yes, COD points were in this game and you earned them, you didn't have to buy them. To new kill streaks like the SAM turret, and even things such as the Hind, which was a fully movable helicopter you could fly as your top end kill streak. COD Black Ops did have its issues with horrible netcode, horrible hit detection, slow feeling movement at times, but yet, going back to it, I still get those feelings of being a young kid back on school nights and at the weekend, just sitting there grinding out with my friends. Overall, Black Ops is an amazing game. It is a great Call of Duty and it definitely deserves to be a classic title. Though I do feel I look back at it with rose tinted glasses, and I think many do. Going back to it now can be annoying and frustrating compared to the good connections and high speed internet we have today, but overall, Black Ops is a good game. I would fully recommend it to anybody who wants to try a classic COD experience and see what games were like before the pre-advanced warfare days, before we had jet boosting. With World War II doing so well, and the next Call of Duty rumoured to be Black Ops 4 with boots on the ground, set in a modern day, I'm hoping to see a return to the classic Black Ops formula of Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 1, because overall, those are two of my most favourite Call of Duty games ever made, and I definitely hope that people will come back to this game beforehand and see what it was really like. So yes, overall, Black Ops has its issues, and it's not the perfect game I used to think it was in my childhood. But I definitely recommend it to anyone who wants to play a Call of Duty game, whether that's the fun campaign, the annoying but incredibly fun multiplayer, or the amazing zombies mode. This game has something for everyone. With the player base rising daily, I saw 63,000 people on Xbox 360 alone today, so I definitely recommend it for anybody. So yeah, Black Ops gets a thumbs up from me. Anyway guys, I hope you've enjoyed the first in this new series of videos. I have been Dead by Default, and I'll see you in the next one.